Meanwhile, Russia has revised its nuclear policy, allowing it to use its atomic arsenal even against a conventional attack if the attack is backed by nuclear power. And that is precisely what took place hours later as Ukraine launched US-made longer-range missiles into Russian territory. Our Hye-ryeon has the latest.
Ukraine has fired American-made long-range missiles at Russia for the first time, just a day after outgoing US President Biden gave the green light for such weapons to be used. On Tuesday, the Russian Defense Ministry stated that Kyiv used 6 ATACMS, which stands for Army Tactical Missile System, against a military facility in the Bryansk region which borders Ukraine. They claim to have intercepted 5 and damaged the 6th. Ukraine, however, said the attack was successful and struck an arms depot around 70 miles inside Russian territory. Regardless of the attack's outcome, the event is significant as it marks the first instance of Ukraine using Western-provided long-range weapons to strike Russia's mainland.
Ukraine's priority is to seize as much strategic assets and territorial assets before there will be a ceasefire negotiations taking place in conjunction with the inauguration of the new president of the United States, Donald Trump, on January 20th next year.
Following the approval of Ukraine's use of ATACMS, Biden has also authorized anti-personnel landmines in another effort to provide aid to Kyiv, according to a report from the Washington Post on Tuesday. These mines have been described as non-persistent by a U.S. official, meaning that they self-destruct or deactivate over time, reducing their threat to civilians. The U.S. has faced increasing pressure to allow Ukraine to use long-range weapons, particularly in light of reports that North Korean troops have been deployed to Russia and are participating in the war. The shift in Washington's policy heightens its involvement in the war, despite U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's criticisms of U.S. aid and pledge to end the war quickly. This comes after Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a new nuclear doctrine that expands the conditions under which it can use nuclear weapons. Notably, the revised doctrine states that any attack supported by a nuclear power could be considered a joint attack against Russia. It also lowers the threshold for the use of nuclear weapons to respond to attacks that pose a threat to Moscow or its allies. Russia has consistently maintained that any missile attack by a NATO member on its territory would constitute direct involvement in the conflict, and Putin's new doctrine creates a justification for a potential nuclear response. In response, Washington remarked that this latest move came as no surprise and criticized what it called irresponsible rhetoric from Russia. While Ukraine had initially been expected to attack the Kursk region where North Korean troops are reportedly deployed, experts say that this limited attack in a single location rather than Kursk could be a test to gauge Russia's reaction. With this latest attack from Kyiv, tensions are expected to escalate. Hye-ryeon, Arirang News.